Hello, this is Maxwell with Z Gambit, and today we're looking at the Zambia versus Namibia COSAFA Cup of Nation final, which took place in South Africa. This game was an intense game in which we could have actually easily lost because the game was a tough one. As you can see, if you look at the highlights for the team for Zambia, we had a composed team, very good team. Namibia had a good team as well, but what separated us was a goal in the end. As you can see, if you see from the title, that Zambia won finally, but even though we won, this was a tough game. This was a very tough game. So if we won it today, as we've won it today, we've actually become equal with Zimbabwe as the most holding titles when it comes to the COSAFA Cup. So we are using experience when it comes to this one, while Namibia was the underdog in this case. And they fought with their spirits because even though they knew that it was a tough call for them to win, they still had to go with it because they thought probably they could have pull in an underdog thing where the underdog wins, but not today. In this case, Zambia won in a game where it was 1-0. So even though we won, we did not have the major players like Patson Daka, like Enoch Mwepu or Fashion Sakala. These are our main players, but they were not in this game. So for me, I think it was better that Zambia played this way without the major players. So this was an offside, as you can see, but it was better that Zambia played without the major players like Patson Daka, the Mwepus and all those people, because these players are coordinated. They play together each time. They are always together and they train together. But when we bring in the big players like Mwepu, like Fashion Sakala, who just come in a week or 2 weeks, they are just there to replace people who've been playing there for a long time, and when they go there, 2 weeks is not enough for them to coordinate with the team. So it's like these players are separate from the team, but they're just good players, which does not make sense in the end. If you look at most teams, most countries, look at Messi for example and Argentina, they do not perform well because Messi is not always there. When they call him for duty, he's not always there, and these players have not trained together for a long time. They just train in a short while together and then they go to play. So that's what happens for Zambia. But in a case like this one, these players are all players who have been playing locally, and they did their best. As you can see, they actually fought until they won it in the end. So this game was going to go to penalties because none of the teams was seemingly going to score. Zambia was playing very well. We were actually leading when it comes to the attack. If you look at most of the attacks that were in this game were mostly Zambian, even though Namibia had attacks as well, but we had most of the attacks in this game. But the problem that we had is that we lacked a finisher. We didn't have anyone to finish the ball. Therefore, every time we went ahead, no one could actually score. So it was a game that was bound for penalty shootouts. And I knew that when we go into penalty shootouts, because the last time we met Namibia in penalty shootouts, we lost. I think some time back we lost. So Zambia, the past two times they played penalty shootouts in the COSAFA Cup, Zambia lost to the teams that they played to. So which shows that Zambia, we are not good when it comes to penalty shootouts. And penalties can go whichever direction. They can go to Zambia's direction, or maybe they can go to Namibia's direction, which is kind of hectic in a way, considering that Zambia is the bigger team here and we deserved to win. As a Zambian, we are always proud of our national team. There's one thing that we are proud of is a national team, and we always hope for them to win, even though they try to give us BP from time to time, but they always do us justice from time to time, like in this case where they have won it today. So we are the champions of the COSAFA Cup at the moment, and as you are seeing these highlights, don't get the BP because in the end, just know that Zambia won. Even though we were under pressure from time to time, they put in the pressure because they also wanted to win. That is how football is. If each team wants to win and each team comes prepared, each team has maybe a lot of time in which they try to prepare, and for that they want to win, and that is why you saw this game to be an even match. But under normal circumstances, Namibia is not a team that could compete with Zambia. Zambia is a bigger team. You saw how we beat Senegal, and Senegal is a way bigger team than Namibia. So we shouldn't have struggled with Namibia with the way that we performed with Senegal. So I thought maybe we would come with the same morale, we would have scored maybe 2-3. If you look at the video that I did, there is another video I did which was of the highlights, and I make a prediction that Zambia was going to win with a 2-0 margin, thinking that Zambia would do that. But this game proved otherwise because there was no goal, no one to finish the game. So our midfield was lacking and our striking force was lacking. So I don't know where all the players dissolved, and we just became mediocre players in the end. You see, so this is something that could have been a goal if the player was, very composed. So look at this one, for example. The player would just hit from very far without anyone in front there. So this was a problem that we had as a team, but luckily we won, which I'm very happy about. But I'm not happy about the way that we played the game, because we had a lot of chances. Like this chance, it was supposed to be a goal. It would have been a goal if we count the chances that we had. Would have had a lot of goals. But like one of the subs said, it says it only takes one copper bullet to kill an elephant if hit in the right place. So we only needed one goal, and that one goal is what took us there. So we just needed one goal to finish them, and luckily we got it before we actually entered into the penalty shootouts, which is a bad thing. So now the next thing we're waiting for is the Chipolopolo to play the game tomorrow against South Africa. So we hope that Chipolopolo also wins against South Africa, so that we have too much to celebrate. So even though if Chipolopolo would not win, would not be mad at them, because they've already proven to be a very good team. They have made us really proud already. They've qualified to the World Cup, and at the moment they are going to seemingly win it, because South Africa will not beat us. So stay tuned. Tomorrow I'll do an analysis video for Chipolopolo, South Africa versus Zambia, women's AFCON. So subscribe if you've not subscribed yet. Like the videos and share, because tomorrow we'll do an analysis, and we'll also post the highlights for the Zambia versus South Africa game. So I was looking at this and seeing, I thought it was almost a goal, even though I've watched the match. But there's always that thrill when you're watching the game once again. So it became a tough game at a moment, and Zambia, that's one thing that we lack. I don't know, we have a problem sometimes. So this team is not a team that is ready, for example, to play, let's say, in the World Cup. If Zambia was drafted for the World Cup, I'm sure I wouldn't go very far. Even for the Africa Cup at the moment, if we have this team, they played very well, yes, but it's not the kind of material that you would expect from a team that should be considered to be in Group 1, the big teams, as it is. So far, Zambia has been ranking in Group 2. As when they are putting in slots, Zambia is always put in Region 2. So this was a goal that Zambia scored, and I would say this goal was a brilliant goal, because no one was expecting it to come. We had already set our eyes to say we're going to extra time, and then this goal came at the time that we needed it the most. So this should be the man of the match, because he scored a deciding goal at a time that we needed one special goal. So there you have it. Zambia actually won 1-0, and this was a goal that actually made us win it all. So now we are the COSAFA Cup champions, now having it equal with Zimbabwe, who have won it 7 times, and Zambia now has won it 7 times as the all-time holders of the championship cup. So if you are a fan in this pitch, you would imagine how it would feel for you to be in the pitch and to be as a fan there supporting live at this game. I'm sure it was a wonderful game. So thank you very much for watching, and subscribe, and wonderful day to you. Bye bye.